Right? It's so amazing. Like, they went to see space. We're supposed to see them, right? Like, they admired the universe, and what they were expecting was for us to admire the fact that they were rich enough and famous enough to have been granted this utterly, utterly vacuous experience from.
It was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
Yeah.
Well, this voyage lasted 11 minutes.
Oh my God, you guys, look, we're seeing the moon. Guess what? We all see the moon just fine down here. Have you seen the moon rise? Great.
Who is it? Katy Perry? I didn't even know she was still relevant.
6 celebrity women, including Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez, who is the plastic fiance of Jeff Bezos, took a Blue Origin rocket into space on a trip that lasted from takeoff to touchdown less than 12 minutes in total.
Hollywood just turned space travel into its newest red carpet, and this time it comes with glitter, gossip, and what might be the world's most glamorous selfie opportunity. Buckle in, because Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez didn't just break the internet, they launched themselves into actual space. Well, sort of. Thanks to Jeff Bezos and his sky-high midlife-crisis-on-steroids rocket, these celebs got front-row seats to a suborbital spin that's being hyped as history-making, despite being more influencer trip than NASA milestone.
I know some people are gonna disagree with me here, but 11 minutes really isn't that long, and you really can't accomplish that much in 11 minutes.
Imagine this scene: 6 celebrities, 0 astronaut experience, and 1 giant Amazon blue rocket that looks like it was designed by someone overcompensating for something. They blasted off from a Texas launch pad for a quick joyride that didn't even last as long as your Starbucks order. And somehow, the headlines called it a revolutionary leap for womankind. Never mind the decades of real astronauts like Sally Ride and Mae Jemison who've actually risked their lives in space. According to the press, that glass ceiling officially shattered the moment Katy Perry floated for 4 minutes and had what she called a cosmic awakening.
I have no doubt that it was a cool experience. It was not historic or significant in any way, but it was still, I'm sure, cool. More than cool, it must have been profound and quite moving. It's a shame then that it was wasted on a woman with the wisdom and intellectual depth of a newborn poodle.
Yes, Katy, draped in zero-gravity glam, gushed about feeling reborn in space, comparing herself to a butterfly emerging from a diamond-studded chrysalis. She even claimed a single daisy floating in the capsule spoke to her on a spiritual level, as if it was some deep, divine message from the universe, and not just a random flower plucked from its pot for aesthetic. While the media drooled over this space spectacle and threw around words like empowerment and trailblazing, not everyone was buying the narrative. Joe Rogan couldn't resist throwing shade, joking that if Katy started singing Firework, he'd consider opening the hatch. That little roast set the internet on fire, and suddenly, what was supposed to be a feel-good moment became a battleground between inspiration and eye rolls.
Katy Perry went up to the space yesterday, and she spent no more than 4 minutes of intense pleasure up there. Came back and talked about how much in love she was with it, how amazing it all was, and she's talking as if she's Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin, you know, landing on the moon, first people planting a flag. She was in space for 4 minutes. She's got longer songs than that.
Katy Perry, in other words, had certainly set the bar high for herself. She was so insufferably stupid and ditzy before the flight that everybody wondered if she could come up with anything even dumber when she landed.
But beneath all the viral tweets and perfectly filtered snapshots, a serious question started bubbling up. When did this brief celebrity space hop get treated like it was on par with landing on the moon? And more importantly, why are we pretending this ultra-privileged rocket ride is some kind of victory for women everywhere? Let's be real. This wasn't about shattering ceilings. It was a velvet rope invitation to play astronaut for a few minutes, while real researchers and scientists, who've dedicated their lives to space exploration, continue to fight for scraps of funding. But hey, the cameras loved it. The spaceship landed, the jumpsuits were camera ready, and the Instagram captions practically wrote themselves.
And it's women who are behind the scenes at NASA and contributed to the space program. Okay, that I get. What did these women do? Like, honestly, one is sleeping with a billionaire who created this program and is jetting people, to outer space for like 10 minutes, for as long as like your average YouTube video takes.
Katy came back to Earth practically glowing, talking about being universally connected to love, with a level of sincerity so thick you could frost a cake with it. Meanwhile, actual astronauts spend 6 months recovering from the toll of microgravity. But these celebs landed ready for their close-up, shouting about how they made history and silenced the haters. Sorry to be the buzzkill, but if anything got broken that day, it was the record for shortest zero-gravity brand partnership in influencer history.
Has shot a bunch of women tourists who are totally unqualified to be astronauts in a remotely controlled spaceship for 10 minutes into orbit. How insufferable? All the feminists aboard? How much do we not want this rocket to return to Earth?
Meanwhile, brilliant minds who actually understand how the universe works are still grinding in obscurity because they don't have red carpet outfits or million-dollar booking agents. And if that doesn't make your coffee boil, let's talk numbers. Because each seat on that rocket reportedly cost millions. That's money that could have funded scholarships, saved entire research departments, or kept classrooms stocked with microscopes for years. But sure, let's splurge on a thrill ride so a talk show host can post about having perspective. Of course, the tabloids had to stir the pot, painting Rogan's joke as sexist while conveniently ignoring that he roasts everyone who signs up for these overhyped space stunts. Why? Because drama sells. And drama means clicks. And clicks mean ad revenue. And that's the engine really fueling this so-called milestone mission.
I had Commander Chris Hadfield on, and he was at one point in time the longest person that had been in space from, wasn't he? It's like he was there for like 6 months. And he was saying it was unbelievable, like how difficult it was to recover once you get back to Earth. He couldn't walk. It was just like a total vertigo.
And just when you thought the launch was the peak of this Hollywood space circus, oh no, the show kept going. Right after touchdown, the feedback loop kicked in, louder than the rocket's landing boom. Because if there's one thing Hollywood knows how to do, it's throwing a party for itself. Now get this. Oprah is reportedly circling the story for a teary-eyed sit-down special about women reaching for the stars. You already know there's going to be slow music, dramatic lighting, and a close-up of someone choking up while describing zero gravity like it's a spiritual cleanse. Meanwhile, sources say Blue Origin is actively recruiting even more A-list passengers for their next high-altitude Instagram session. Somewhere, a merch team is probably already whipping up t-shirts that say, "I left Earth for 10 minutes and all I got was this enlightenment." Because of course, nothing screams progress like slapping a price tag on your personal growth. Now look, before anyone jumps in the comments screaming that this inspires the next generation of scientists, yes, inspiration is important. But let's be real. Inspiration without real effort is like cotton candy. It looks pretty, tastes sweet, but offers nothing. And when the sugar crash hits, we're left with the reality that true science is blood, sweat, and years of work, not a glam-filled selfie mission with mood lighting. The real lesson future astronauts need isn't about being camera ready. It's about grit over gloss. The true legends are out there right now, orbiting Earth for months at a time, running complex experiments in silence without anyone tossing them a Vogue photo shoot. But that story? Yeah, it doesn't sell nearly as well as Katy Perry floating midair with a flower.
5 women went up into space, right? Jeff Bezos, the man who paid for it all, sent his wife up, which tells you something about their marriage, doesn't it? I think he was hoping she wouldn't come back.
Still, in the land of headlines, subtlety never trends. So now we're all stuck watching Katy Perry preach about cosmic love to her 100 million followers, while Bezos gets to shine up his visionary image with every flashy launch. And for the rest of us, we get to play the role of the internet's truth tellers. Because let's be honest, calling out nonsense doesn't make you anti-woman, anti-science, or anti-fun. It just makes you anti-BS. And since we're keeping it real, let me ask you, would you hop on a billionaire's rocket just for an influencer-level selfie and a dramatic caption? Or would you rather stay grounded and let your enlightenment come from, actual life experience? Drop your take in the comments. It helps keep this algorithm spinning and my caffeine supply stocked. Now back to our sparkly space squad. As if their spiritual takes weren't enough, they pivoted to planet-saving mode, raving about the Earth's thin blue line like no astronaut had ever said that before. And of course, they forgot to mention how much carbon that little joyride actually pumped into the atmosphere. Newsflash, one of those launches releases more emissions than your uncle's monster truck uses in a decade. But hey, this is Hollywood. Hypocrisy is part of the outfit. It's practically sprayed on like designer cologne. A little guilt, a lot of gloss, and just enough buzzwords to make it sound deep. And you better believe the PR teams were ready. They spun every contradiction into a meaningful conversation starter. Translation? When the facts don't vibe, toss them in a word salad and call it gourmet. But viewers aren't stupid. They can taste the emptiness, and the numbers don't lie. The clips going viral aren't the powerful statements. They're Joe Rogan's mic drop moments. Because let's face it, people want realness. They want wit. They want unfiltered truth bombs, not curated speeches. While all this fluff was lighting up headlines, guess what was happening in the real world? Female astronauts, actual professionals, were quietly prepping for 6-month missions on the International Space Station. They're running mind-blowing experiments on radiation protection and mental endurance. You know, real science, life-changing breakthroughs. But those stories, they get a tiny blip of attention, maybe a quick mention before the next red carpet meltdown takes over the feed. And that's the punchline, isn't it? The world cheers for 11-minute celebrity stunts while overlooking the true pioneers who are pushing the boundaries of what humanity can do. Meanwhile, Bezos just buys more attention the same way he buys rocket fuel, by the gallon. Now, the capsule sits in a warehouse waiting for its next influencer payload. Commentators argue whether these space selfies are killing the credibility of real science. And here I am, popcorn in hand, watching this elite parade masquerading as progress, wondering how awe turned into irony so fast. So let's wrap this interstellar roast with a toast, shall we? Here's to the age of Fast Pass astronaut badges, where it's not about what you know, but who you know, where empowerment is measured in #speed, and every over-the-top adventure is coated in a thick layer of virtue signaling. Cheers to the spectacle. May the memes fly higher than Bezos' rocket. And hey, if you loved this snark-fueled ride through the stars, hit that subscribe button faster than Katy Perry declared cosmic love. Because this Hollywood roller coaster, it's just getting started, and we'll be right here, covering every glittery, chaotic, jaw-dropping twist along the way.